Om Namo Narayanaya. We are starting a new chapter today. This is called Of the Means of Getting Money, of the Signs of the Change of a Lover's Feelings, and of the Way to Get Rid of Him. May I remind my listeners, all of you, that this part of the Kama Sutra is about courtesans. It is not about normal relationships. It is about a courtesan and her lover. The definition of courtesan is not given in this book. It was probably assumed that everyone knew what it was, but reading this hundreds of years later, I just have this feeling that our definition and their definition are two different things. So there's a lot of context that is needed. Anyways, let's read before I ramble on. Money is got out of a lover in two ways: by natural or unlawful means, and by artifices. Old authors are of the opinion that when a courtesan can get as much money as she wants from her lover, she should not make use of artifice. But Vatsyayana, the author of the Sutras, lays down that though she may get some money from him by natural means, yet when she makes use of artifice, he gives her doubly more, and therefore artifice should be resorted to for the purpose of extorting money from him at all events. Now, the artifices to be used for getting money from her lover are as follows: taking money from him on different occasions for the purpose of purchasing various articles such as ornaments, food, drink, flowers, perfumes, and clothes, and either not buying them or getting them from him more than their cost. Praising his intelligence to his face, pretending to be obligated to make gifts on occasion of festivals connected with vows, trees, gardens, temples, or tanks, pretending that at the time of going to his house her jewels have been stolen either by the king's guards or by robbers, alleging that her property has been destroyed by fire, by falling of her house, or by carelessness of her servants, pretending to have lost ornaments of her lover along with her own, causing him to hear through other people of the expenses incurred by her in coming to see him, contracting debts for the sake of her lover, disputing with her mother on account of some expense incurred by her for her lover, and which was not approved of by her mother, not going to parties and festivals in the houses of her friends for want of presents to make them, she having previously informed her lover of the valuable presents given to her by these friends, not performing certain festive rites under the pretense that she has no money to perform them with, engaging artists to do something for her lover, entertaining physicians and ministers for the purpose of attaining some object, assisting friends and benefactors, both on festive occasions and in misfortune, performing household rites, having to pay the expenses of the ceremony of marriage of the son of a female friend, having to satisfy curious wishes including her state of pregnancy, pretending to be ill, and charging her cost of treatment, having to remove the troubles of a friend, selling some ornaments so as to give her lover a present, pretending to sell some of her ornaments, furniture, or cooking utensils to a trader who has been already tutored how to behave in the manner, having to buy cooking utensils of greater value than those of other people, so that they might be easily distinguished and not changed for others of an inferior description, remembering the former favors of her lover, and causing them always to be spoken of by her friends and followers, informing her lover of the great gains of other courtesans, describing before them in the presence of her lover her own great gains, and making them out to be even greater than theirs, though they may not have been really the case, openly opposing her mother when she endeavors to persuade her to take up with men with whom she has been formerly acquainted on account of the great gains to be got from them, lastly, pointing out to her lover the liberality of his rivals. Thus ends the ways and means of getting money.